Why do I do this to myself? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Drunk Film Review. Your favorite egghead here is going to be reviewing a very questionable film back from 2012, Project X. Project X is questionable, to say the least. I just made a mess. Anyways, if you remember 2012, back before the world ended, there was this giant hype for a film called Project X that was supposed to be about this giant wild party that, in the film, Thomas, Cub, Costa, and JV throw. The story goes that Thomas Cub is one of those losers out of high school, one of those very stereotypical high schools where he's not the Chad. There's Chad and Stacy walking around, and his friend Costa's had enough of it. So it's Thomas's birthday, and Thomas's parents leave town for that specific weekend. So what happens is Costa decides, yeah, we're gonna throw this guy the wildest party ever. And Thomas just looks at him and says, how are we gonna invite people? Nobody likes me, I'm an ass. But Costa has the best idea ever. He texts literally everybody in his school through He texts literally everybody in his school that there's gonna be a wild party. That's the film. Everybody shows up. And I do mean literally everybody and plus 17. No, it's not age plus 17, no, it's that person plus 17 other people. So for each person that came, they brought 17 other people along with them. Now can you imagine fitting all these people into a small house that just has a few cups for beer and whatever? And yeah, the party goes on until everybody does like me and just gets shit-faced. I'm not going to talk about how the film ends or what goes on in it with it. You guys have to watch it to know, but I'm here to review it. I am the reviewer, and I've had too much to drink. Again, I never learn. This film was shot with a $12 million budget. Quite interesting, since it's a found footage film. Now what does found footage mean? I don't know if you've seen the film Quarantine, Wreck, not Shrek. Blair Witch Project. These films were all shot with a camera. What? They were shot with a camera by a bystander or somebody documenting the whole thing. So in that night, their weird ass friend, what was his name again? Dax. Yeah. Their friend Dax, who looks like the weirdest psychopath you've ever seen, who has this giant camera for some reason. But where do the questions rise? How the hell were they able to edit all of that footage if he's just holding the camera? Now I know they did shoot some of the scenes with actual people's phones, the actual extras that were on set. They used Blackberries, they used iPhones, they even used flip phones for. But what I don't understand is who was editing? Who was there with a laptop just as the party was going, just taking in rushes with all the music and noise? Wait! Who's done with their camera? I need to ELO to try to make this sequence. What? Here! You got a cable? No! SD! What? SD! Okay! And then he just wanders off. That's what I couldn't understand. That's the first issue of the many issues with that film. Although I did like the acting, let's talk about the image itself since we're talking about the editing. That camera is not supposed to give you the most cinematic image. And at the same time, using those small phones that didn't even shoot at 1080p back in the day, kind of looked like crap. Some were filmed with a Canon 5D Mark II, back when it was still in its glory days. Some were shot with, what was it shot with? Where is it? 7D. They actually used the 7D with this. It doesn't give you the best image, but it still gives you that gritty, dark kind of image that looks like you're actually watching a home video that was shot just for these specific kind of people. But how did they edit it? Unless that psychopath just stayed up all night the next night just putting together footage. Some trivia, they ended up with 10 plus hours of footage from the crew, like the cast who was shooting. The actual people who were on set. Sound-wise, it's clean, but it's illogically clean. Costa goes out to talk to the officers. He's away from the camera. You can still hear him quite clearly. So if either his voice was abnormally loud, or he was wearing a lavalier mic, and I'm pretty sure he was wearing a lavalier mic. I can just imagine Dax miking up Costa and Tom just before their party starts. That way they're just heard. Now that's a good explanation. Why am I even explaining this film? Why am I overanalyzing this film? Let's talk about the design. The design is pretty interesting, as it was kind of normal. It was real. But then the non-diegetic music comes in. Suddenly you just hear a soundtrack. Where is it coming from? I have no idea. Okay, the music was coming from the speakers and whatever, but why, oh why, does Metallica's Battery suddenly come on towards the end of the film? No spoilers here. But something bad happens and you hear Battery by Metallica. Where did it come from? I'm pretty sure the DJ ran out of the house when shit hit the fan. Okay, now we're done with the editing and how it's not supposed to be edited, and the sound and how there's not supposed to be a soundtrack coming over it. I mean, the acting was pretty good. These were high school students. Okay, the actors were over 18, but they're playing 17-year-olds. And you see a lot of tatas. This ended up as the most pirated film of 2012. So many people wanted to see 17-year-old tatas. So many questions. Back to the acting. It's natural, it's normal, because these are first timers. Everybody was a first timer. It was an open casting call for the film. It's not an anti-LGBT film, but they do focus on two women kissing multiple times. And not just two women, multiple women kissing multiple women. Now this film is, I'm gonna go all SJW now, overtly misogynistic. Women are the object that makes the party happen. Don't get me wrong, I love women. I need to shut up. Let's skip this part before I get myself into trouble. Had they been 19, 20, 32, would have been more acceptable. 17. You put the pedophile pervert into my head. I didn't want to be that. No, they actually grossed at $109 million. That's how many people wanted to see 17-year-old girls kissing each other and showing their tatas. Now, why am I talking about this film? Why did I decide to review this film drunk? Because there's just so much wrong in it. Everybody was shit-faced and throwing up everywhere. And then there was a midget that they shoved into an oven. Would I recommend this film? Yes and no. It's not like the last time I talked about The Room, which if you still haven't watched, by the way, what are you doing? Go watch it. Just pause this video and watch it. But as for this film, if you're easily grossed out, if you are an SJW for some reason, if techno music and electronic music are not your thing, don't watch it. The film has amazing music. I personally enjoyed it. Yes, I'm a metalhead, but I still enjoy this kind of music from time to time. If you want to watch this film, you can go ahead and watch it. I'm not gonna stop you, but you're gonna be cringing a lot. Project X. Over 10. 3. Just 3. Why am I giving it a 3? I enjoyed the music. I enjoyed the style. Parties are fun, but this was too much. Would I watch it again? Yes. Would I watch it again after that time? No. Would I watch it again with somebody else just to watch them cringe? Hell yes. If you want me to stream watching Project X with a poor victim, please say that in the comments. I need to know how many people actually want that. Leave a like. Let's get this to 10,000 views, which is very much impossible. This has been your boy, Egghead, the guy with the least hair on his head in the C47 team. I hope you enjoyed this video, and let me know if you want me to make more. Some people actually asked for this, but I don't know if you're bored or if I'm too ugly for the camera. Okay, bye.